and help children like me get their daily dose of truth. Together, we will make sure every child has protection from deception.
Focusing on the Midwest, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Both President Trump and former Vice President Biden with campaign stops in 3 Midwest states in an effort to shore up support in the last days before the election.
Minnesota hasn't supported a Republican for president since 1972, but 4 years ago, President Trump lost the state by just a little over 1 point. Joe Biden says he's not taking the state for granted.
President Trump is spreading division and discord. He thinks that he can divide us.
Biden held a drive-in rally in St. Paul hours before President Trump's visit to Rochester. The president also rallied supporters in neighboring Wisconsin.
With the incredible people of Wisconsin, we have made America powerful again.
President Trump won Wisconsin 4 years ago by a slim margin. Critical state election night victory. Jared Alford, Fox News.
The latest Fox News poll finds Biden leading the president by 8 points nationally, 2 points tighter than the last poll 2 weeks ago, but not as tight as it was last month. The poll also found wide support for Biden among suburban women, black voters, and people under 30. The president has support among white rural voters and evangelicals. A federal judge has postponed the president's threatened shutdown of TikTok, siding with a Pennsylvania comedian and 2 other TikTok users who say the order hampers their free speech. The Trump administration maintains the app, which is owned by a Chinese company, is a security threat. Kyle Ritt.
I guess it must be time to get to work. Welcome, everybody, to our Friday edition of the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and I hope you guys are having a great night. Thanks so much for joining me here on the Paranormal Portal. It'll be 2 fun-filled hours of paranormal goodness. Full day's allowance in every bite, I think. I am absolutely thrilled to be here as always, and I'm thrilled that you guys are here with me. And I'm also thrilled that I have someone else here with me, and this is my good child and tonight's co-host, Mr. Sheldon No-Beard.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, this is my boy. He's in town visiting, so I thought, you know what? I want to bring him on the show. So how you doing, buddy?
Doing very well, staying safe. Hopefully everyone out there is well.
That's true. I think they are. They told me they were. Yeah, they're doing good. But are you nervous? How you feeling?
Yeah, a bit nervous first time, you know.
Nah, you're great. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Dad and son doing a show. Come on. What's not to love?
That's true.
So you're no stranger to the paranormal yourself. I mean, and obviously I'm not gonna like pick your whole brain, but you've had activity throughout your life being in my family.
That's true. Yeah.
we've had a lot of strangeness through the years, and he actually saw a UFO as well. We've had lots of different ghostly stuff through the years, but he actually saw a UFO, and it might even have been before I actually saw a UFO. I'm not sure exactly how the timeline went for sure, but do you want to just put that in a little nutcap or a little cap? Put that in a little short story for everybody. What happened?
I mean, it is a short story, but yeah, it was years ago. I was just heading home from school and driving home, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this glinting light. You know, there were houses up on top of this bluff that we lived at, and I thought I was seeing that, and it just hit my eye just right. But I see it, and there was something floating just above the bluff. And it was a shiny silver color, and then seconds later it darted off.
Wow!
I've never seen anything dart off that fast, and I think I remember driving at the side of the road just to process what I just saw.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy stuff. It's always heavy to see things that just rattle your paradigm and make you just consider things. But now, can you tell me, and I know you and I have talked about this many times, but did you have an open mind for that stuff before? I knew you believed in ghosts and stuff, but how about UFOs? What did you ever think?
Oh, absolutely. I think that we're the only life form in the universe. I mean, I just don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I don't either, and thank God, because Lord knows we need help, and it's a good thing we're not winging this alone. I think there's lots of things out there, and I do think they come here too. But anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, this is my son. I'm here, my son Sheldon, and he is going to be participating in tonight's show as my wingman in the absence of our Longbeard. So we're just going to go with it. But we got a lot of stuff to go through tonight. I received an email from a listener, and it's going to be featured on one of the upcoming podcasts. But I thought I'd read it to you guys. There's also an audio file that goes with it, but I'm not going to play the audio file tonight because since we're connected to the network and there's an issue, transmitting the sound to both locations, to YouTube stream and to the networks and subsidiaries, I'll just read the narrative of it tonight and then just watch a future broadcast of our podcast, because we're going to feature it in there along with the actual sound file of the gentleman interviewing his grandparents who saw the anomaly themselves. So let me just get to this. And this is submitted by Rodolfo Payan, and he says, "This is a genuine true story, told for the first time. On August 6th, 1980, my grandparents were traveling from Odessa, Texas to Mexico due to family emergency. Well, they took off at around 11 p.m. on the night of the 5th with their two kids, which was my dad and my aunt. My grandpa, along with my grandma's uncle and brother, were riding in the front seat with my grandma and the kids in the back. Between 2:30 and 3 a.m., and south of Marfa, and many of you might be familiar with the Marfa lights, which is a common phenomenon down there, Marfa, Texas, is when they seen something strange by the Chinati Peak Mountains. They saw what seemed to be a big fire on the ground against a mountain. My grandma asked if it could be illegals trying to stay warm, and her uncle said, "I don't think so. It would catch the attention of law enforcement and eventually get them caught." My grandparents then said that the fire started forming and rising up to the top of the mountain. My grandma screamed, "Look!" And that's when they all realized what it was. Fear started to spread throughout the car as what they described to be a tremendously fast spinning disc, shaped as if it was a frisbee, was laid on its face with another one on top of it in the disc shape. Red and yellow fire smoke was raging out from the bottom and from the top. They could feel the force of the disc, and it started to follow them from a distance along the mountains. It would abruptly stop when they stopped and accelerate when they did. At one time, the disc crossed over into the street in front of them. It was about 1.5 miles in front of them and about 2 light posts high. My aunt says it looked big enough to fit a car into it. And that's when they all got really scared. And the kids started to cry along with my grandma as she began to pray out loud. They had heard about abductions happening at the time, so they were aware of what could possibly happen. My grandpa, on the other hand, is the bravest man I know and wanted to catch their attention. I like that guy. That man's made us metal for sure. He pulled off to the side of the road and got out of the vehicle with a flashlight. He then tempted and called out to the disc to get closer. And while pointing the flashlight towards them, saying, "Come on, come on." My grandma, I'm sorry, I had to look away for a second. Come on, come on. My grandma got out of the car and took the flashlight and told him to get his ass back in the car and to haul ass. Sorry, I'm just reading it as it's written, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive the language. Then the disc crossed back over towards the mountains. My grandpa said it moved like a rabbit jumping over weeds. They could see little windows and lights inside, but nobody or nothing controlling it. It made no sound, and they couldn't really see a color due to it being dark. Once my grandparents got back on the road, the disc was still following them at a distance. It would go up and down the sides of the mountains, and finally, it went behind one mountain and never came back out of the other side. Approaching the ghost town of Shafter, Texas, is when the disc disappeared. My grandma, still in shock, asked her uncle if it could be witches, but he replied, "You'd need a whole regiment of witches to make something like that." See, my grandma had to deal with a jealous witch back in Mexico when her and my grandpa first married, but I'll save that for another story. Yeah, I can't wait to hear that one too, brother. Thank you. They said only one truck passed them throughout the whole incident, and it never stopped or even slowed down. It just carried on. They weren't sure if the truck had seen it as well, and I sent you the interview I did with my grandparents so you could hear it straight from them. They had heard about the Marfa lights, but in no comparison was it similar to what they had seen. Unfortunately, they have no proof and did not have a camera at that certain time. My grandpa worked at a plant for 43 years here in Odessa and finally retired. And he tells me that his coworkers would say he was lucky to have been able to see that. And his coworkers would even try and go to the same spot at around the same time to try to catch it, but no one else ever saw it. My grandpa talks about an elderly man who worked at the plant who told him during World War II there was a base stationed in Marfa. The soldiers on the ground would see the lights and would think it was Germans coming to attack. The ones on the ground could see it, but the pilots in the planes would report seeing nothing. My grandparents have no reason to lie, and I've known about this story since I was a kid. This is the first time telling it to anyone outside of our circle. It's a pleasure and a privilege to present it to your podcast. My grandpa wishes he could see it again and asks if anyone with a similar story around the same area to please come forward. Thanks again and much love from, it's Rudy Payan. Rudy Payan, and my grandpa is Manuel Payan, and my grandma is Irma Payan. Okay. Very, very cool. Wow. I think that's amazing. And thank you for submitting that, and thank you for letting me use your names. I think that's awesome. If anybody in that area has had similar experiences, let us know, and we'll definitely get you guys in contact so you can kind of compare notes. That would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, it would be. I see we've got a phone call right off the bat here.
Oh, boy.
But once again, thank you, Rudy. I appreciate that. And stay tuned. I will let you know when I'm going to air it on a podcast, as it's not enough for a full episode, but we'll definitely put it on a compilation episode with some other stories that were submitted. So let's get to the phone call here. And this is coming from Australia. How's it going? Is this Aussie?
Yes, it is, Brent.
How you doing, brother?
Just coming up to wish everyone a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you too.
Halloween.
Now it's Halloween for you now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we're still in yesterday.
And yeah, and I'm having an awesome Halloween so far.
What?
So, like as is, we've just already had one storm. Got another storm coming. Tonight's meant to be a full moon.
Uh-huh.
Second full moon within the month. It's a blue moon.
Right.
And it's Halloween.
Now, do you normally like Halloween, Aussie? Is that a good night for you generally, or is it kind of weird for you?
Well, it is now because I love thunderstorms and I can already feel the energy.
Yeah. I do too. In fact, I got to tell you, that's one thing I really miss about living where I live now. Oh, you're getting a lot of wind in your microphone there. But I really miss
Yeah,
here.
it's windy, stormy, and
Right. Yeah,
sorry, I'll go inside.
I always love thunderstorms. They're always so amazing because that natural energy is just so impressive. But wow. So did you dress up?
Had this one flash of light. Had this one flash of lightning just earlier.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh! I think it was double subsonic because there was 2 booms from the one flash.
Oh wow. Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty.
I mean, boom! It was like boom, boom.
Oh boy!
Wow, that's impressive, brother. Did you dress up for tonight?
Nah, I got one mask to put on.
Oh,
and it's a tiger.
Well, maybe paint it up, maybe decorate it up for the festivities. But I hope you're okay, man. Stay safe. Don't get stuck in those storms anywhere.
Thankfully, I'm at home now, so yeah.
Okay. Well, it's great to hear from you, brother.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween to you too, brother. Great to hear from you. Thanks for calling in and being part of the show.
Yep, no worries.
All right, good night. You know that still boggles my mind. Be like sitting here and, oh, somebody from Australia's calling.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to wrap your head around. It's like, wow, people in Australia listen to me too.
Whole other side of the world, yeah.
Yeah, other part of the world completely. But it's an honor. It's always an honor, and thank you, brother. It's good to hear from you. Happy Halloween to all of you guys as we're heading towards the time of the thinning of the veil, or the thin of the veil. It's supposed to be tomorrow, according to many traditions. Although, again, I'll state it, there is a belief that the veil gets thin all the way from this time until December 25th, which is, of course, the winter solstice. But I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. I always just feel like this time is an extra special time. And I think that, I don't know, I just feel like there is a different energy about this time of year. And maybe it's that there's energy with every time of the year, and this for some reason resonates with me. But I think that this is just kind of a cool time, other than the cold and other than the fact that there's no leaves and nice stuff outside. Other than that, I love it, which doesn't mean I really, I do love Halloween, though. It's always been a cool holiday for me. So how about you, Sheldon? Do you like Halloween?
I love Halloween. Fall's my favorite time of year.
Yeah, that's true. It is. Yeah, you hate being hot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, he's built for this kind of weather.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Like, he likes the cooler weather. Not me, man. The older I get, the harder these get.
I mean, the thick layers definitely help.
That's the padding that gets me through it.
Yeah.
I hear you. I got plenty of that, but I don't know. I must have the more fibrous padding or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, wow. There we go. I almost inhaled the last part of that drink. That would have been stupid, but there's plenty of stupid here on the portal. Just stick around if you're new. If you are new, please get subscribed. We'd love to have you stick around and be a part of what we're doing. So if you're brand new to the show, this is the deal. This is what we do. We have fun doing it, and it's a paranormal show, but we try not to get all dark and broody and spooky and stuff, because the subject itself is dark enough. You don't have to have, and then they heard the thunder. All this real. Well, let me try that again. And then the thunder struck. We don't got to do that. We just got to have fun. Got to take it light. And quite honestly, a lot of people that have had paranormal experiences, they don't want to be, in a dark, brooding atmosphere about it. They just want to talk and deal with it, come to terms with it and such. And we got a great podcast coming up for you Sunday. It's an interview I did with Kylie, actually, from Vancouver Island, and she and I got together on, what was it, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday, and we recorded a full hour episode. So if you want to hear more about what she experienced, definitely tune into that. Now, again, for clarification, this isn't the podcast. This is the YouTube show. So this is our live show on YouTube. And sometimes these shows are ported over to become podcasts. But as a rule, the podcast is a separate show completely. Separate episodes with only very little bleed through between the two. So if if you're not familiar with it, we'd love you to get familiar with it. And you can find the Paranormal Portal podcast on all the major platforms, wherever you find podcasts. And that means iTunes, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, Google Play, etc. So good one coming out on Sunday. We hope you'll check it out. And let's see what else we got in the hopper here, Sheldon.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to share before we move forward?
Tomorrow's a blue moon.
It is a blue moon. Yeah, see, those aren't good for me usually, though. Historically, I've not done well with the second blue moon, super moon, blood moons, that kind of thing. There's always something goes sideways for me, and I don't know what it is. Now, I'm not putting that out there. I'm not trying to manifest that, but I'm telling you, I've had some of my worst shows ever on those blue blood moons. But, ladies and gentlemen, today, as of this day, the Paranormal Portal installed fiber. We have fiber connection now. You don't hear all that obnoxious static, and there wasn't seeming to be as bad a delay on the phones. When I was talking to Aussie, that was nice, and I mean, considering he's in Australia and we're going through about 15 billion miles of cable between us, that was pretty good. I mean, that was pretty tight. So hopefully we are on the verge to a much better experience here on the Paranormal Portal, or at least an upgrade. So that came in today, and I'm telling you, oh my God, if you have a chance, get the fiber. Get it. It's just so cool. I mean, you hit a video, boom, it's there. You download something, it's like, done. It's so quick. It's just amazing. I'm so glad we got it now.
No connection issues so far.
Well, no, and that's the part. We had cable before, and at the time, that was the best we could get. Congrats on the fiber. Thank you, Farm. I appreciate that. And by the way, keep an eye on the chat if there's something that I should respond to. Let me know.
Oh, absolutely.
I appreciate that. That's kind of the wingman job.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, enough.
Come on, boss.
I'm not rubbing the fiber, Farm. Don't be so gross. Rubbing the fiber. What the hell? I forgot what the hell I was going to say now. Thanks, Farm. You just cleared my blackboard. You erased everything in that one remark. But, Farm, it doesn't look like I'm going to need you to be the fabric softener. At least we're off to a good start. Just saying. He would always call in because for some reason, when we'd have that static, once a phone call came through, it would clear it right up. So I don't know, or at least make it way better. So anyway, let's get to some of this other news that's going on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to cover this because that has a video attachment, and we don't do those on these nights. Well, I mean, we could, I guess, but where was that? There was something I was gonna speak to. No. Oh, this was stupid. I don't even know that this could be true. Here's the thing. I mean, I don't believe this for any number of reasons, and I guess it's one of which is because it's an article from animalien.com, and it says new research has shown that ancient people did not eat meat. What the hell are they drawing on the caves then? They were shooting meat all the time. What were they doing with it? Decorating? I got my new meat skirt. I mean, what the hell were they doing with all this stuff? You got these Paleolithic paintings, like of them hunting mammoths and all this wild stuff, and it says new research has shown that ancient people did not eat meat. So, for the sake of incredulity, let's get into this. It says new research has shown that ancient people did not eat meat. I don't believe that. Scientists from the Polish Academy of Sciences said that the ancient people were vegetarians. That is, there is almost no meat in their diet. Well, I will say that vegetables are easier to catch than living prey, but they're much easier to stalk and to bag them. But that there was almost no meat in their diet. The expert made such conclusions after many years of studying the lives of ancient people who lived in the south of modern Poland during the Neolithic period, I guess. People of that time almost did not eat meat, since basically they preferred to eat plant foods. How the hell can you draw that distinction? What do you mean they preferred it? Did you interview them?
That's what I was wondering, like the wording on that.
Granted, they probably didn't have, we're like meat pigs now because we have so many ways of getting meat. Like, we can have a lot more meat than our ancient predecessors. But how do you know they preferred plants? That's such a statement. Scientists carefully examined fragments of bones of people and animals living in the Neolithic period. The findings were amazing. The diet of the ancient people contained dairy products, barley, and wheat. If they had livestock, then only wool, skin, and milk were used. There was no meat in the daily diet of ancient people. Such conclusions were made by researchers having studied human teeth. Is this just one group, though? This might just be one group. Maybe there's a vegan a vegan startup there. Researchers also found that ancient people were vegetarians for about 5 millennia. Interestingly, scientists came to similar conclusions who studied the diet of people who lived several thousand years ago in Africa. Ancient Africans ate plants and root vegetables, which were baked at the stake. What the hell does that mean? At the stake. I don't know what that means. But anyway, scientists from Stockholm said earlier that water scarcity could turn modern humanity into vegetarians. Animals need more water than grain to produce the same amount of food. For example, to grow a kilogram of cereals, you need from 0.4 to 0.3 tons, or from 0.4 to 3 tons of water. And to grow a kilogram of beef, you need 15 tons. This lack of water in the future may force people to reconsider their diet and the direction of plant foods. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously they have grounds for their assumptions, and I'm not saying that this wasn't the case for these peoples that they looked into, but I really have a hard time. Now, again, it could have been the scarcity of game or the scarcity of the ability to hunt. I don't know. Maybe it was before the bow and arrow or before spears. I don't know how that worked. I mean,
aren't there species that we hunted to extinction?
Well, that's a great point. Maybe there were. I mean, on certain, like the dodo, for instance, it was kind of stuck to an island, so it wasn't going to go anywhere. It was flightless. Oh. So these sailors would just land there and bag a handful of dodo and hit the seas. So they, it was obviously they were going to become extinct. They had no way to defend themselves. But on a wide open plain or something like that, or on a continent, it's much less so. I mean, we've certainly destroyed many species in our grand and illustrious history, but I think maybe it's more of a stretch to say, look, the game left their area. Maybe they had no game and they didn't want to kill their cows because that was providing meat and the wool or whatever that they were also utilizing. So maybe they didn't kill their domesticated animals, but couldn't hunt the wild ones, or very rarely were able to find some. I don't know. That's a whole lot of supposition, but I'm sure they have reason for it. I'm not trying to say that I'm so much smarter than these researchers, but it really strikes me as odd because, I mean, there's these ancient cave paintings of people killing, these animals, and I'm sure they weren't just protecting their crops. Oh, dang it, the deer are here. Get your axes, get your bows. They're eating the food. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. It's an odd thing. I didn't expect to read that today, but I read it. And now hopefully you're all a little bit wiser than we once were. That's really weird. I don't know what to think about stuff like that. What do you think, Sheldon?
It could be a wording thing, like maybe that specific period that they were studying, maybe they were more vegetarian. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Wording it makes it hard to say, I guess.
I will say that there is a, and I have nothing against people that are vegan. I really don't. I think it's wonderful if you can do it. That's fantastic. I wish I could. But I think that there's definitely a movement of people that want us to be vegetarian, and they want to promote that lifestyle. And so, it just makes me so I don't know what to trust anymore from anything, because everybody's spinning stuff now with to come to their own conclusions, and it makes my head ache. So
steak's too good to give up. Sorry.
Yeah, it's gotta be nice and juicy and right off the grill. And Don would agree. But there's the first break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be right back in just a couple minutes, so don't go away for more of the Paranormal Portal. gentlemen, we're back, and I hope you had a nice break. I know I did. I just sat here and relaxed and enjoyed the sounds of the break. If you're new to the show, the reason we got to take the breaks is that currently on Friday, Saturday nights, the show is actually being simulcast on tfrlive.com, which is our mother network. That's where the show first started, and we are on tfrlive.com, which is also broadcast on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. And so due to the network schedule, we have to take breaks every half hour, so that's why we do them. It's not because we're lazy. It's not because we don't have nothing to say, and it's not because we're wasting your time. But in order to keep the continuity together, YouTube viewers, you will see those breaks. And, I just wanted you to understand the logic behind it, because there is a method to the madness, believe me. And that's one of them, but I should say we have a phone call. And as such, we love talking to you guys out there. If anybody else wants to call in, if you don't already know the number for the show is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. I always forget my own number. I don't know. I'm a bit dyslexic that way. But we'd love to hear from you. But let's get to our first call right now. Our second call, because Aussie was our first, of course. But this is, I believe, Mr. Carlton. Are you there, brother?
Hey, Brent. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, brother? What's on your mind? I think I might know, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, you triggered a farm rant.
Well, please give it to us. I want your insights.
Okay, but before I do, I have to say, wow, signal is really clean tonight. The phone connection is no delay. It's just awesome. I'm really glad you got fiber. I hope I can follow suit at some point in the future.
Me too, brother. It's brilliant. But yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, I want to hear what you think. So what do you think? Do you think these were these were anemic people?
I question where they got their expert status from, first of all.
Ooh, all right.
From all the research that I've seen, that ancient peoples and pretty much other than modern peoples were hunter-gatherers, and they actually roved around from area to area to follow the food source, basically, and that meant going down into the valleys in the summer to go for food sources there, moving up into the if you're in the northern hemisphere, you'd move up into the hardwoods and go after those nuts that are high in proteins and fats, that sort of thing. But my understanding is they definitely ate a good significant portion of meat, and along that line, while vegan can be done correctly, there's a lot of misinformation out there about it, and a big part of that is proteins and fats, and those are really critical, and not just proteins and fats, but also cholesterol. Cholesterol is a huge part of nervous system function, and from my understanding, it's about 80% of what the brain is made of is cholesterol. And so if you're only eating vegetables that are not high in fats and amino acids and proteins, then you're going to be deficient in those things, and that's going to have a huge negative effect on your health. So I don't know. I don't buy their article all the way. And I don't feel like they really went in depth on their research or their study. So I just had to throw my 2 cents in on that.
Well, it seems to me that and this is certainly you see this come up oftentimes in any kind of scientific research, is that it's funded. It's funded by somebody. And what if it's funded by a Live Vegan Now group or something? Trying to make it sound like we're screwing up because the ancient people didn't need all this meat.
Good point.
Yeah, you really got to follow the money on that. And the other thing I see in a lot of these research papers, they don't. The problem is there's so much information to understand before you can even do a study like that, and all you got to do is miss one piece of it, and your whole study is skewed, and you probably don't even know it.
Right.
I've been researching this stuff for forever, and I have a tremendous amount of knowledge in my head, and I still always question when I go in looking into something deeper, like, do I really have all the information? And I tried to make sure that I do, but I always have to go back and go, well, you can always update your model. There's always more to learn.
Right.
And it's frustrating to see them, just throw out statements. Oh, we did this little study here, and we determined, the answers to everything. It's like, well, go look into the information deeper. I think you need to do more research before you can come to any real conclusions.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't trust it. Oh, Don's in the chat too. Hey, Don, good to see you, brother. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that there's a lot of holes in that whole argument, and there's a lot of questions that I don't know. I just don't seem to be answered. Of course, that was a very short article. It was by no means comprehensive. So maybe there's a lot more to the story that we're not seeing. But it just, it's such a bold statement. I think the ancient peoples, they didn't. I don't think they had the luxury of choosing a diet. It was just eat or die. And eat what's available.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah, and the diet varied tremendously, and actually, I think that's a big part of our, some of our health problems today is that our diet isn't varying with our local climate, and if your diet doesn't match your climate, maybe you're deficient in things that you don't even realize it. There's a tremendous amount of study going on in this field right now, from a regenerative agricultural perspective, and also from the perspective of human health, and also, it's not just food, it's also energetics. The sunlight exposure that you're getting affects how your body processes those foods. It's a really complex equation that's hard to come out and draw any real simple conclusions out of it. And then if you have, funding trying to push you in one direction, then you're even more skewed, I think.
Right. Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right, brother. I appreciate your insights. It's always welcome. You definitely bring a lot to the table when you call in, so thank you for that.
Always glad to bring more to the discussion, and thanks for doing the Paranormal Portal. Great to see your son on with you. That's awesome. Welcome, and glad to see you on screen. Carry on, man.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. And ladies and gentlemen, you can catch Carlton on his own show. When? Tell him when, Carlton.
Oh, yeah. Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Pacific. It's actually Wednesday, 12 a.m. Eastern Time. It's called Comrades at the Farms, and it's simulcast on the Pharmacy Seeds Network, as well as Truth Frequency Radio.
There you go, brother. All right. Well, thank you so much for your participation, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Have a great night, Brent.
Okay, we'll see you. Well, we got two more calls. Well, one of them repeated. How do I get two calls from the same number? Well, I'll answer one of them and see what happens. All right, this is area code 626. Even though there's two of you calling, you're on the air. And if this one doesn't answer, I'll go to the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to meet that one. And go to line number 2 of the same phone. Area code 626, you're on the air.
Brent, can you hear me?
I can. I had 2 calls from you. That's really bizarre.
Isn't that? Well, not really, considering my house is a paranormal portal also.
Well, there is that. That kind of weirdness is pretty common in our neck of the woods, isn't it, Ruthie?
Yeah, and I know I've called in this the second time this week, but I just have to share with you.
Please.
I know. I just thought, oh my God, I got to tell Brent. Wednesday night around 12 midnight, after I talked to you and listened to your show, I walked into my bedroom, and on my bed was laying a ghost. And he was relaxed, laying sideways. And I walked in and I went, oh!
You saw?
I started laughing.
You saw the figure yourself?
Yes, I saw it.
What did it look like?
Oh, yeah. He was transparent. Now, I see them a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I talked to you about another time I saw one in the hospital. But no, he was transparent, laying sideways on the bed, not with his head on my pillow, thank God. And it was like he heard me do the exclamation, and he looked at me and smiled and put his head down. And I thought, oh, how strange, because he looked ill.
Oh. Wow.
And almost like he was a cancer patient.
Oh, no.
And I know. And I said, no. I go, oh, golly, the vein, the veil is so thin.
Yeah.
So I said, look, from the bathroom, I said, look, you need to leave. You're on my bed.
Oh, no.
I ain't getting in bed with you there.
You weren't in the snuggling mood, I'm taking it then?
No, he was too old for me. No, I was kidding.
Well, you gotta have your you gotta go for your type. But so does that make sense? Does that the fact that he might have been sick, does that make sense to you, or does that just seem kind of random?
No. I asked Source. I said, well, who is this man? And today I got the answer.
Okay.
I think it was a man that did live here at the house many years ago.
Okay.
And I think he was just passing through to see the house. The house I live in right now is so cute. It's a little cottage. Very old, built in like 1920.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it's got that style to it here in California. Yeah. And I think he just loved the house as much as I do. I think he did pass, and I think he was just kind of going to everywhere that he had loved. Yeah, I thought it was really interesting.
That's really cool. Man. And you're right. With the thinning of the veil, are you noticing that you're seeing a lot more than normal?
Oh, my God, Brent. Every day.
Wow.
I mean, something happened this afternoon with the crows. I mean, just everything is happening, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I think that stuff is great. I know some people are freaked out by it, and rightfully so. I mean, it takes a lot of people by surprise, but I don't know. I think they're always there, but it's just maybe there's something about this time that since that veil is thinner, they can interact more easily, and I think it's great.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to get used to it.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
Yeah, I'm in my 60s now, and so I'm kind of used to it and experienced it since I was like 4.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting used to it. What can I say? It's here. It happens. I'm like, okay, what next?
Now, do you ever feel the need to like cleanse your house and stuff like that, or like something negative or dark, or has it been?
Brett.
Yeah.
I cleanse my house every day, a few times a day. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I put constant protection because everything passes through here. I mean, there's negative and positive.
Okay.
Right now, before I called you, my dog walked in and looked at me like with a stunned look on his face.
Oh.
And he was kind of creeped out. So I said, oh, boy, here we go. So I put more protection around the house right now, especially at the front door. Yeah, the veil is very thinner than normal, and I think it's going to stay that way, actually. Not this thin, but I think it'll just go back to being a little less than normal.
Yeah. I've been thinking that too, and I don't know that I'm psychic by any measure, but I think I'm sensitive, and I definitely have been feeling like it's for a while now that the spirit world just seems so much more present than before, as far as being in my experience. So I think you're right. I think that this is part of the vibrational shift that's been going on.
You know what you should do is rent the movie called Spirited Away.
Okay.
By Miyazaki. Yeah, he's an artist. He's actually a very popular man in Japan.
Right.
And watch that. It's an anime, and you'll see how thin the veil really is. The Japanese people are more in tune with the spirit world than we are here in the U.S. I think you will really enjoy the movie, and then you'll accept the fact that you are becoming psychic and you are an empath, and you're pretty much on your way.
Wow.
I mean, you're doing the show. You're on your way.
I think I might have seen that. Was that this little girl and she had this kind of black blob with a white mask on it? Okay. Yeah.
No face.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a cute movie. I remember seeing that. Yeah. I'll have to watch it again though. I just watched it from an entertainment point of view, but I'll have to watch it with those things in mind as I'm watching it and see how different it is with that consciously going through my head. Very cool.
Oh yeah, it's a good Halloween movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't watched any yet this year. I got to do that. I got to watch Sleepy Hollow. I always love Sleepy Hollow.
I love Sleepy Hollow. It's wonderful, scary.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's just the perfect amount of wicked.
In touch.
All right, my lady. It's great.
The perfect movie, right?
Yes, it is. But it's wonderful to hear from you. Thank you for calling in.
Oh, and hello, Sheldon. It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
he's got the cool
You guys
pellet.
have a good night.
All right. Good night, Ruthie. Thank you.
Good night.
She's such a wonderful person. She's been with the show pretty much since the beginning, or very close after that. Yeah, Ruthie's always been part of this. That's really cool. I love it to hear from you guys. Love hearing from you guys. And where was I going now? God, it's already only 11 minutes till the next break. Sheldon, do you see that?
Wow.
It's a time warp. This is a time anomaly here on the portal. I see this is still diving, though. This number's still diving.
No, it's been doing
I mean, it fills in, though. I know, but the YouTube metric or the analytics will dive down to like 0 because there's 0 people watching. What did I say? What's this email? Oh, thank you, Farm. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys don't want to call in, you got something you want to share, you can always email. And I forgot to mention the email, but email us at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. If you have something that you'd like to share but don't want to get on the, it kind of freaks you out to talk publicly, that's fine. I understand, and we love getting emails as well. Been hearing from a lot of new listeners lately. Thank you to all of you guys that have found us and are enjoying the shows. That means the world to us. We really love doing the show, and it just is such a thrill to hear back from you guys that, hey, I like your show, just found it. It's like, wow, yes. So keep spreading the word, and by all means, word of mouth is great. If you want to take these videos, these streams, share them on your social media, I'd be honored. Please don't worry about having my permission. If you want to share my videos out there, please do. That would be great. And we'll go a long way in helping to support the portal. That would be awesome. So let's continue on our journey. You ready, Sheldon?
Always.
She's always ready. How you doing, Bam? Good to see you. I forgot to talk about the people that are here. So I see in TFR we got Bam, Wise Wolf Radio. How you doing, Wise Wolf? Boy Solomon, V-Lash, and all one. And then over in our YouTube, what do we got? Participants. Here we got Aaron Heisner, Annie M, Aussies here. I saw another name that just disappeared, but Beauty All Around Me. That's a nice name. That's very sweet. Big Rob's here. Bomber's here. Carrie B is here. Chris Jarvis is here. D Ocean. Hi, D. How you doing? Elaine Clifford. Edery. Terry is here. Ethan is here. Gemini. Great Lake Sasquatch. Heather K is here. Good to see you guys. Jordan Cogburn. Mary Bond. Natasha Badwolf. Nessie's here. How you doing, Nessie? Good to see you. Paradox Fossils. I'm here. Professor Orange Juice is here. Roxanne. Ruger Ridge. And the farm, the unknown, of course, has been contributing some digital assets to us. Thank you a lot, brother. I appreciate that. Ken is here. Good to see you, Ken. Tighten up. YTFP Chris and Don, Mr. Aether Archives himself, is in the house. So we're all here. One big happy family. Group hug. No, I wish we could. I wish we could all just embrace in love. It's great to see you guys. Thank you. And if I missed anybody on the shout outs, I apologize. Just tell Sheldon, hey, I'm here, and he'll let me know. I see LTC. Okay, that one just came up. Good to see you. So let's continue. What else do I got, Sheldon? What am I doing here? I found an article you guys might be really interested in. I thought this was really neat because, of course, anybody that's kind of tuned into the whole Anunnaki and has heard the legends and the stories that are apparently taken from ancient cuneiform tablets in Sumeria might get a kick out of this. What the hell? I don't want that big thing. Oh, I hate these big ads. Oh,
that's a shame.
It's a big V8 ad. I don't want to promote V8. I mean, I love the stuff, but it's really, Oh, there it goes. Oh, I almost was able to close it. Damn it, it started again. All right.
Should have had a V8.
Yeah, you're a wise guy, eh? All right. But this is, ladies and gentlemen, this article is from unexplained-mysteries.com, and it's Rogue World found drifting through the galaxy. A rogue world is just drifting around. I imagine that would have to be cold, because if they don't have a sun, I don't know how they'd make it. But anyway, I'm sure it's a dead planet if it's just floating around, unless it is Nibiru, and then I guess we got other things to worry about. Oh, there's the X. I got to click that X. Yeah. There we go. All right, so it says astronomers have discovered an Earth-sized world that is drifting freely through the cosmos without a parent star. Might be the Death Star.
That's no moon.
That's no moon. Free-roaming planets are untethered to a solar system and have been known about for some time. However, all the ones found so far have been enormous, up to 40 times the mass of Jupiter, which is itself equivalent of around 300 Earths. Oh. Now, however, astronomers have for the first time discovered a rogue planet that is roughly the size of our own planet, opening the door to the possibility that our own galaxy could be filled with large numbers of these free-roaming worlds that spend their existence drifting in the interstellar void. Wow. The odds of detaching such a low-mass object are extremely low, said lead study author Perzmek. I don't know how the hell do you pronounce that. Przmek, Przemek, Mroz. Either we were very lucky or such objects are very common in the Milky Way. They may be as common as stars. Oh my God, that seems dangerous, doesn't it? There's a bunch of planets just rolling around like marbles. Yeah, that's a great idea. They may be as common as stars. Theories of planet formation have predicted that the majority of free-floating planets should be of Earth mass or smaller, but this is the first time that we could find such a low-mass planet. It's really amazing that Einstein's theory allows us to detect a tiny piece of rock floating in the galaxy. Exactly how this world came to be in the interstellar void remains unclear. However, there are several ways that a planet could be thrust out of its star orbit and off into interstellar space. Given the total lack of sunlight, however, it's unlikely that such a planet would be able to support life. Yeah. But I don't know if I believe that, because there's at least like amino clusters and proteins that are surviving on a protein is a protein, I guess, but are surviving on like asteroids or comets or whatever, and could be actually seeding the galaxy with life. But what are those? There's these like little microbes that NASA found, and they can survive like floating through interstellar space, and they don't seem to need oxygen. They don't seem to need anything other than some light or whatever every once in a while. But when things like that are discovered, maybe it's a planet full of things like that. I don't know. That's pretty strange though. Or maybe there's another substitute. Maybe it's a inside the world kind of habitat where they got like a molten core or some glowing light producing mass inside. I don't know. I mean, it's just a stupid, wild theory, of course, but it makes you wonder. I wonder how they could have been knocked out of their own solar system, though. That's kind of frightening. But apparently they might be as common as stars, ladies and gentlemen, and when you look up at the sky and you see the stars, much like are depicted in this picture, that's a lot of crap floating around. It's like the Earth in Wall-E when they fly their ship out of there, and it's hitting this junk barrier. That's what the universe might be like. But interesting enough, now could it be Nibiru? I don't know. I don't know where they found it. I don't know how far away that is. If it could be the fabled planet of Nibiru, I don't know. But everybody's been saying Planet X is coming back. Planet X is coming back. Could it be? Maybe it's this. Maybe they found it. I don't know. Just an idea, just a thought, but very curious. What do you think of that, Sheldon? Untethered planets just floating through the void.
I guess that's what happens when we don't pay rent.
They got kicked out. Get out, you bum. Yeah. You don't pay rent, you get kicked out of your own solar system. That's it. Get out of here, you freeloader. Wow.
Terrible joke.
Nah, it was actually really good. That made me laugh sincerely. Very well done.
Oh, nice.
You turned out to be an asset on the show, Sheldon. No, that's funny. Didn't pay rent. Kick them out, they don't pay rent. All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. From the mouths of babes. That's my boy. It's clever. There you go. Let's see what goes on here. This is... Oh, God dang. This is more sciencey. The last one was kind of sciencey, but it ties in with Nibiru. This one just sounds kind of cool. All right, I'm going to read it just because if somebody can lay their hands on something like this would be intense. Let me pull it up here, ladies and gentlemen. It's another article from unexplained-mysteries.com. And I like going through these articles because they do update a lot, and they always have new things on there. But here you go. This is a new one. New study targets $10,000 quadrillion asteroid. There you go. It's apparently a big asteroid full of like precious metal or something. I don't know. An asteroid with enough riches to make everyone on Earth a billionaire is the subject of a new Hubble study. Well, God, that could be anywhere then if it's Hubble. Named after a figure in Greek mythology who achieved immortality, 16 Psyche, which is almost entirely composed of nickel iron metal, is worth so much money that its value would completely dwarf the meager 78 trillion of all the world's economies combined. Measuring around 240 kilometers across, it is situated in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Oh, my God.
Oh, that's not far.
That's not far.
That's not far.
And is believed to be the exposed iron core of protoplanet left over from the early solar system. Oh, my God. That's in our neighborhood. Now, a new study involving the Hubble Space Telescope has revealed that this remarkable object could be a lot more unique than anyone realized and might even be one of a kind. We've seen meteorites that are mostly metal, but Psyche could be unique in that it might be an asteroid that is totally made of iron and nickel, said study author Dr. Tracy Becker. What makes Psyche... Oh, there's the bell. We'll get back to it on the other side, I guess. Sorry, I didn't watch the clock, but we'll get into that after the hour break, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away for more of the Paranormal Portal in just a couple minutes.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger boils inside me, and their lies keep falling apart. With my silence, I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking mess. Take another slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed. Don't
Carol Ann is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
All right, everybody, hour number 2 is now upon us. Launching into the second hour of our show tonight. Hope you guys are doing great. Thank you all for being here with us. It's always a pleasure, of course, and it's a great honor to always be doing the Paranormal Portal. Happy Halloween to all of you. Tomorrow night, we will be doing an extended show. I don't think it's going to be a parathon, but it's going to be an extended show. Don will be here, and also our very own Julia, Miss Blacktree, to those of you in the chat. She'll be here with me for an hour after Don heads out, and we'll go another hour. So at least it's going to be a 3-hour show, but I'll tell you this, we're going to do giveaways tomorrow. We're going to do the paranormal quiz and have some questions for our callers to answer. And if you get enough right, you could be leaving with a prize. And if you want to see the prizes, you have to head over to the Teespring site, teespring.com/stores/paranormal-portal. So the link is in the description of the show if you want to get a peek over there at some of the things that could be on the table for prizes tomorrow. I can tell you it's going to be a few T-shirts, though, for sure. So if you got a hankering for a T-shirt, then by all means, you can become part of the fun. I would just ask that if somebody has already won one, please, give somebody else a shot. I don't want somebody getting the whole Paranormal Portal collection. So as much as I love having fun and doing those things, I got to keep it as fair and give everybody opportunities. So that'll be tomorrow night here on the show, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don will be in here and we'll be tearing it up. And then Julie will be coming in, and she's got a couple surprises to get into when she gets here. So we're going to just have as much fun as we know how to have here on the portal. So I hope you'll join us and become part of the merriment that is the Halloween edition of the Paranormal Portal. It's not a parathon, but it's a celebration. Samhain celebration, or actually pronounced Samhain. But anyway, it's a celebration of sorts. So I hope you'll join us then later on TFR. If you're listening on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, or TalkStream Live, following the Paranormal Portal will be Paisley Wild, The Spaces Between. And she's got a great show and is a wonderful friend of ours. And Don helps her out on the show and does some producing for her and such. But they'll be coming on next, and that'll be right after the Paranormal Portal. If you're on YouTube, you can head over to her channel on youtube.com/The Spaces Between. She simulcasts her show as well. And then following that is World Bigfoot Radio. So lots of goodness coming up right here on TFRlive.com. And hope you'll become part of our festivities. Our night of fun. Friday nights are always epic. Of course, before us was Freaky Friday with Kev Baker and crew. And you guys are awesome. Thank you guys always. It's a real honor and pleasure to be following you. In fact, I think in November, we did a crossover show, Don and I did with Freaky Friday crew. On the last Friday the 13th, and I think the only other Friday the 13th in 2020 will be in November, so watch for that. We're probably going to do the same thing again, where we join Freaky Friday for 3 hours, and then they join us on the Paranormal Portal for the next 2 hours, so it'll be 5 full hours of a marathon of sorts. So I hope you guys will watch the calendar for that. But anyway, that's stuff that's coming, but tomorrow night, of course, is the big thing. That's the Halloween extravaganza right here on the Paranormal Portal. So become part of the fun. All right. now, before the break, we were talking about this article of this $10,000 quadrillion asteroid that's apparently right in our neighborhood. I thought if Hubble was just, checking it out, it must be like 35,000 light years away or something stupid like that. But nope, it's just in the asteroid belt apparently, right here in our own solar system. So, and they called it Psyche, and it's made almost completely of iron and nickel, and it's enormous. And they say it's worth a lot of money. But what it says where we left off was, what makes Psyche and the other asteroids so interesting is that they're considered to be the building blocks of the solar system. To understand what really makes up a planet and to potentially see the inside of a planet is fascinating. Once we get to Psyche, we're really going to understand if that's the case. Even if it doesn't turn out as expected, anytime there's a surprise, it's always exciting. NASA is already planning to send a probe to visit the asteroid and reveal what is perhaps the most alien landscape ever seen. A world not of rock or ice, but of solid metal. The mission is currently scheduled to launch 2022, and the probe will take 4 years to get there. Yeah, I don't know. You'd think we'd have a faster way by then. I don't know. I guess that's just 2 years from now, so they're still using the same technologies, but God, we're still lobbing stuff up with rockets. That's so frustrating, It seems like we should have Millennium Falcons by now. Wouldn't you think so?
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, let's just go. No, but it's going to take a while to get there, and then So I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever start mining it. I was looking at the comments over the break, and somebody said talking about it's a miner apparently, but he said, as a person who has worked around mines and mining for a long time, I can tell you this: if you can discover a way to control dust in a zero-G vacuum, you'll be rich. Until that problem is solved, I don't see mining in space happening. Well, I think this person is kind of counting on the fact that you would mine it with drills or whatever, but what if you're using focused light or energy, and we're mining it that way? There wouldn't be dust. So I think this person is looking at it from his paradigm. This is how we do it, and that's how it have to be done. But that's not taking into consideration there could be a lot of new ways to mine that aren't implemented on Earth because of probably the cost to retool everything. But I'll bet you they probably already know how to do it.
Aaron in chat's got a pretty good idea. I like it.
What is it?
We just get a big magnet.
Yeah.
we suck it in.
Tie a string to the back of the probe and a magnet, and we'll drag it home. Yeah, we'll just put it on the moon. We'll go up there and farm it. Yeah, yeah. But it said, I think what they said was, if I'm understanding this right, is that it says it has enough riches to make everyone on Earth a billionaire. Could you imagine if we're all billionaires?
No one would be.
Right. It's the Incredibles line, right? If everybody's super, nobody is. Mm-hmm. But I guess that's true, because then a billion would equal zero. It would just be resetting the whole plane. Mm-hmm. But that's it's still kind of cool that there could be this many materials out there. It's obviously not being used anyway, and it's better than digging up our Earth to get it. So I'm all for this mining the asteroid belts, because I mean it's just stuff floating out there. Let's go get it.
It sure would get us out of the deficit.
Yeah. Somebody in the comments said, yeah, some corporation will grab it and start a plutocracy all over the galaxy. It's like, yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
But very interesting. I don't know if this is supposed to be an actual image of it. I can post this over in the TFR chat for you guys to have a look at it. But I don't know if this is a mock-up of it or if it's just some asteroid picture that they farmed up for the shot. But at any rate, it's kind of cool. I think that's exciting stuff. But anyway, let's get on with the show here. Continuing on. All right, Sheldon, what do you want to do? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just throw me in like that. Yeah, you're in charge now.
Yeah, all right. So joining me tonight is my son, Sheldon. Okay, take it away, Sheldon.
Oh man, my nightmare. Oh, boy.
Did everything just pucker all of a sudden?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Tensed up really bad. You can look at the VOD. He'll probably see all my muscles pumping up.
Yeah, there you go. We'll just watch the feed. Watch when Sheldon strokes on my show. No, I wouldn't do that to you.
Thank
but,
you.
But you are my kid. I reserve the right to have fun with you.
Yeah, you are the only one.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I was kidding.
That sounded all wrong.
No.
All right. So let's continue here. We are. Well, I mean, you're a nice guy. You've got a lot of friends.
True. Yeah.
Let's see where are we going here. Where are we going next? I gotta find where my bookmarks are here. World did that. There was one more that I wanted to hit. Oh yeah, here it was. No, it's up here somewhere. There was a Bigfoot report that I had pulled up that I wanted to go over too because it's on. Oh, this is one. This is one I want to hit right now. This is another article from Brent Swanser, ladies and gentlemen. And again, you'll hear me raving about this guy all the time, and he's become a friend, a great guy. He is, in my estimation, the most prolific and amazing paranormal journalist out there by far. We just read an article of his on Wednesday night where we covered the Malaysian miniature alien stuff. And that was really cool because I had only managed to find a little blurb about it in an article. And he managed to uncover all kinds of corroborating stories and incidents and tied it all into this great package. But this is kind of interesting. Now, legendarily, there's always been stories and myths of these people that could fly. The yogis are famous for levitating. Buddhist monks levitating and flying at treetop level and stuff. And these stories go way, way, way back. And I don't know. I mean, obviously, we don't see that anymore. If it is happening, it's not happening in a way that's obvious to us. But I've talked to a person that moved over to Japan, and she told me, you know, over here, that stuff's not so far-fetched. I mean, it's just kind of part and parcel of life over here, and that those things are just accepted, that they're possible, or that these legends are truth of some kind. But what he did is he found this article, or he wrote this article, but it's on mysteriousuniverse.org, great site. If you're into paranormal news and stories, check it out. They do a brilliant site over there. And this is by Brent Swanser, The Bizarre Case of the Flying Priest. And I'm not familiar with this personally, so I'm going to be reading it with you for the very first time. So it says, throughout history, there have been occasional reports of people who could levitate or fly. You'd swear I read it, but I didn't. I swear to you that I just was thinking the same thing. So great minds is what I'm thinking, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just equating myself with Brent Swanser. But I think it's a great place to start. And such accounts really serve to grab the imagination. Not only do these cases evade conventional understanding, but they feed into the almost universal subconscious desire many of us have to take flight and break loose from the tethers of gravity. There have been quite a few reports of this allegedly really happening, but one of the most well-known and often celebrated of the supposed flying people started off as a humble man who would take off to become a legend. The man, known as Joseph Desa, was born into a hard life. After his father died before he was even born, he came into this world in 1603 in a stable in the rural village of Cupertino, Italy, with his poor debt-saddled mother, Francesca, barely able to take care of him. And they lived in abject poverty. He wasn't a particularly clever boy, by all accounts, even somewhat of a dullard or dimwit. And from a young age, he reportedly began to experience ecstatic visions that, combined with his being a dummy, made him considered some sort of a local weirdo. His own mother didn't even care much for him, often doling out harsh punishments for the most minor infractions. And poor Joseph was mostly relentlessly bullied by the other village children. Yet these visions he continued to have as he grew older convinced him to take up a religious, pious life. And after an unsuccessful stint as a shoemaker, he would begin to take his first steps towards the legend he would become. Well, I guess there's a picture of him. But anyway, continue on. Another ad, great. It didn't go easily at first. In 1620, he applied to the conventional Franciscan friars, but was rejected because he had no real education and was considered to be too hopelessly dumb and unable to grasp what that life entailed. Undeterred, he then applied to the Capuchin friars and was accepted as a lay brother, but they soon deemed him unfit for the position and let him go. After this, he crawled back into the conventional Franciscan friars and offered to work for free in their stables, practically begging them to take him. And after proving how hardworking and pious he was, the friars eventually allowed him into their order in 1625, after which he would manage to become a Catholic priest in 1628. This was his greatest dream realized. Something he had overcome great hardship and his personal difficulties for, and it also happened to be when his life would get very bizarre indeed. Whereas Joseph had always gone into ecstatic trances at a moment's notice from a very young age, and this was considered odd by those around him, they would gradually get even odder. At times, during these intense visions, he would become absolutely immovable, as if he were stone set into the ground. And on other occasions, he would become totally impervious to pain, not waking from his trances even when struck with needles or burned with coals or candles. The things would escalate one day at a mass, in an incident that would prove to be the oddest of all. On this occasion, Joseph went into a particularly deep prayer state, during which he was witnessed by all present to begin levitating several inches off the ground. Much to the utter astonishment, when he snapped out of his ecstasy and returned to the floor, Joseph had no memory of what had happened, and he was oblivious to the fact that he had just been floating in the air for some time. In fact, not even believing it at first, but it was confirmed by many witnesses, including top priests, it would also be far from the last time this would happen. After his first show of this amazing power, Joseph began to go into his dazes and levitate with increasing frequency. Sometimes he would rise and hover only a few inches from the ground, while at other times he was reported as actually flying about for considerable distances and at great height. One popular tale is when he apparently flew up to rest on the top branches of an olive tree, where he purportedly stayed for nearly half an hour, while the thin branches bent no more than they would have for a small bird. In another incident, he was said to have flown up to help some workmen place a stone cross into a socket, and yet in another he flew through town over the heads of awed citizens. This apparently embarrassed him greatly, and he shunned the accolades and hated hearing about it. His flight powers were apparently strong, and he was also seen to fly up to the second or third stories of buildings, to shoot off some distances away and then back again at great speed, or meander about through the air at the roof of churches, and these episodes could last anywhere from several minutes to several hours, with Joseph never able to remember them. There were over 150 personal eyewitness testimonies, and when Joseph later became a saint, his beatification records would list nearly 100 separate officially recorded instances of this levitation. And these flights became so frequent that he was often asked to refrain from coming to public masses and other gatherings because it was a distraction. F. Angelo Postrovich, 1767, official biography on Joseph of Cupertino, would say, not only during the 16 years of the saint's stay at Grottaglia, but during his whole life, these ecstasies and flights were so frequent, as attested by the acts of the process of beatification, that for more than 35 years his superiors would not permit him to take part in the exercises in the choir and the refectory or in processions, lest he disturb the community. These mysterious bouts of levitation were witnessed by people of all ages from all walks of life, including the religious and non-religious alike, with no one being able to figure out how he did it. Perhaps one of the most prominent witnesses was Pope Urban the Eighth, who requested an audience with Joseph in which he levitated over a statue of Our Lady's statue in Assisi. In the meantime, Joseph was also allegedly starting to show great powers of healing, giving sight to the blind and allowing the crippled to walk again, and this, coupled with his powers of flight, made him a sort of superhero among the common people. He was even said to be able to predict the future, and it was all seen as a miracle, making sure he was revered wherever he went. Yet these very same powers were also increasingly looked at with suspicion and worry by the church. In that era, there was a fine line to be walked between a miracle and evidence of witchcraft and devilry. And indeed, Joseph drew the attention of inquisitors who suspected just this. He would actually be imprisoned and tried on suspicion of witchcraft, but found innocent. Yet the Inquisition still ordered that he be moved, but put under observation just in case. He would finally return to a conventual community in 1657, after which he would sadly pass away in 1663, despite the conflicting feelings that the church had about his various abilities. Joseph was nevertheless beatified in 1753 and canonized in 1767. Although there have been many saints who are said to have had the power of levitation, St. Joseph of Cupertino remains by far the most documented and well-witnessed of these, and it leaves questions and speculation to this day. Skeptics have suggested that the answer could lie in everything from trickery, illusions, feats of gymnastic prowess, or effects from eating bread tainted with a fungus called ergot. Yeah, but so everyone else is hallucinating, is what they're thinking? Because an ergotamine will make you hallucinate. It's a fungus like a mold that occurs on bread, and it can make you hallucinate. So they're thinking maybe people were eating spoiled bread or something and having going on trips, which can have various hallucinogenic effects and has been blamed for many historical hysterias, all mixed with a little good old-fashioned sensationalism and exaggeration. However, this seems to do little to explain some of the feats that were witnessed by hundreds of people over the course of decades, including top church officials and even the Pope, Michael Grasso, Ph.D., author of The Man Who Could Fly, St. Joseph of Cupertino, and the Mystery of Levitation. God, that's a long title. Believes that the sheer number of witnesses and the amount of official documentation tend to suggest that this might have been a genuine case of human levitation, and he dismisses the skeptical argument, saying, "A fact is a timeless entity. In the skeptical argument doesn't hold water, not to 35 years, and all the witnesses that were involved. The character of the witnesses was of the highest order, cardinals, a pope, the inquisitors themselves. All seems to me that if any of the stories about levitation are true, they're important for at least one major reason. They add to the evidence that renders the idea of materialism quite untenable." I love all the language in here. Whew, that's so many syllables. In the end, there is no real way to know just exactly what happened here, but it is all very well documented and reported by witnesses. Was this a real case of someone who could overcome the laws of physics and actually levitate or even fly? Or is this all a misunderstanding exaggerated by subsequent myths and legends? Although there have been many priests and saints said to have the ability to levitate, the story of St. Joseph of Cupertino remains perhaps the most famous, the most mysterious, and very intriguing indeed. Now, here's a takeaway for me on this. I guess, of course, the idea of flying is absolutely intoxicating. I love those dreams where, you're dreaming and then all of a sudden you realize you can fly and it becomes lucid and you can decide where you're flying to and just do that. And it's just the most incredible feelings that you just don't even want to wake up from. You don't want it to go away. You want to just live in that moment. But I think the part that sucks for this guy is that even though he did these things, allegedly, he never got to experience any of them because he was in this altered state and didn't even like hearing about it and couldn't understand what the hell was going on. So he was always in this state of a trance, and he never got to appreciate the beauty of that act. And I think that sucks. God, don't you think, Sheldon?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Also, I want to bring to your attention that some people are getting a little bit of static.
A little bit of static?
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Well, there's a little bit of static in my ear too, but it's very faint.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that's what people are hearing too. Yeah,
this is about as good as it's going to get. It's still a lot better than we have been. The fiber connection is clean, but it's possible. Possible this old house has a bad ground or something, and I'm getting a little static from that. I don't know. But we are certainly miles above where we were even yesterday. So, well, no, not really. I don't know. Maybe it also might be the fact that we have a phone connection that we have to make out on the internet, and it might just be a noisy connection. I don't know. I'm not sure, but we're always doing the best we can to increase the sound quality. But anyway, back to the flying priest. What do you think?
You know, I think one thing that's interesting and that would make sense to me personally is that if you're enlightened enough to be able to fly, levitate, etc., it actually does make sense that you'd be enlightened enough to maybe feel the future, see the future, and have other things happen like that too.
Oh, sure, because it's not just going to manifest as one thing. It's an complete awareness. It is an elevation of the soul, the awareness of the soul. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, last break, if you can believe that. My God, it's flown, but we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Don't go away for the last half hour of the Paranormal Portal.
From the dawn of man, we have turned to nature to help attain balance within ourselves. But some
right, ladies and gentlemen, last half hour. Can you believe it? It has absolutely flown by, as it always does, but that's just the way it works when you got good conversation and good friends and a great community of wonderful people. So thank you all for being here, being a part of what we're doing. We're having a blast tonight, and I hope you're having a blast being here. Again, if you're new to the show, please get subscribed. We'd love to have you be a part of all of this. Hit the notification bell. Now, I will tell you, I hear from people all the time, my bell was unrung. I don't know what happened, or my subscription was dropped. I don't know what's going on, but it's happening out there. So if you're not getting notifications and you're finding you're not subscribed, it's just, I don't know, ghost in the machine on the YouTube end, or, something else. But all I'll tell you is just keep an eye on that. It has been known to not happen for people. But I will tell you, Wednesday through Sunday, we're always doing live shows, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on YouTube. And we do live shows on TFR, which are simulcasting with us on Friday, Saturday nights to our YouTube show. So lots going on, ladies and gentlemen, and we're just thrilled you're part of it with us. So, you having a good time, Sheldon?
I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens. You're just co-piloting the show.
I mean, when the nerves release, you just start having a lot of fun.
Yeah, you just start talking,
Yeah.
It just becomes a discussion, and that's what's fun for me is, yeah, I know what you mean. The first show I ever did, man, I was, oh, God. I was all set. I had I swear to God, it was like 3 hours worth of material should have taken me to get through. And man, once that on-air light came on, it was just like I panic read through it all in like 20 minutes. My mouth went bone dry. And I was just like, oh, God, what do I do? I had a 2-hour show to fill, and I had like 20 minutes. It was like I ran on empty. So I was babbling for the rest of that hour. And then a good friend, Chris Gio, came on in hour number 2 and helped me through it, but it was funny. Check the what? What am I checking? What the hell is this? Oh, it's a phone. Oh, yeah, we got some calls. Let's get to those calls. Okay, here comes call number 1. This is coming from area code 701. Welcome to the show. Is this Mr. Nace?
Absolutely. Well, I think it is.
It is.
I don't want to jump to conclusions.
Well, get back to us on that. But how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, and I apologize that I did not make the connection when you mentioned a certain entity being on the show today. I did not put 2 and 2 together, and what a wonderful delight to find another Minnesota boy.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
You guys
on
are
the air this evening.
Right? You guys are representing. But yeah, this is my son. He's here to help fill some space. Makes it easier on me.
Trying, yes.
No, you're doing good. You're doing great. So how you doing, Nace? What's on your mind tonight, brother?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm hoping everybody's taking the opportunity of the full moon to utilize their tools of divination and strengthen them or cleanse them and do what they shall for the positivity of the universe. And please don't dabble into the negativity, or we might have to have a couple words or 2 or 3,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, got to keep it light. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's such a delight because you're such a light in my darkness, Brent. And I asked before I jumped on the phone is if everybody would draw a circle. And so this is going out to the chat room.
Okay.
So if everybody drew a circle, anywhere on that circle, put a mark on that circle, anywhere around the circle, and then tell in the chat room where you put that mark if you consider it a clock, and I'm going to check it with what I have written down of what I think some people are going to put on there.
Okay. So anybody in the chat room, did you make a circle, and when you made a mark, where did you make it? In what position? If it was a clock face, what position is your dot? I'm not seeing. It's always the delay. There's always a delay, so it always creates.
Right. and what? And if you think of a circle, Brent, where would you put your mark on it?
If I thought of a circle, it'd probably be at the 3 o'clock mark.
We got 11.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
We do have a 2, a 5, a 12, 2 12s, and a 10, 2 o'clock, 8 p.m. for Bomber, midnight for Nolly, Yeah, so 3 o'clock for Audrey. Or is that right? Yeah, Audrey.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, the names are kind of fuzzy. 9:20. So somebody got really specific. Overbuilt went up right to 9:20.
So if you think of these circles and you think of your orientation of where you are with the earth right now, see if the point of where you put your mark is in the direction of where the moon is to you right now.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess it would be. It's kind of in the, it's kind of this, it's right out there. I know it is. So, yeah, it is at about the 3 o'clock position. You're right.
Wow.
That's interesting. Does that match up for any
And
of
if
you? I'm just asking the chat. But anyway, keep going.
And if I may add earlier about when they were talking about the whole hunter and gatherers back in time at the beginning of the show, as an indigenous Anishinaabe entity, how far back do we go? Because my ancestors, I believe that they were here on North America for over 120,000 years. And they have been using agriculture and farming for a long time. And they ate meat, and they ate corn, squash, and beans. And they had different camps to where different times of the year they knew where to harvest foods. And so they would go to these camps where some people would harvest the foods and bring it back to the larger communities of the longhouses, which were about 30 feet by 70 feet long. And sometimes in some villages or towns, they may have 30, 40, 50 longhouses in them.
Wow.
So depending on how far back we go, because my people, we rarely utilize stone to make structures and buildings. We used wood, and so over a period of time they would disappear. That's why a lot of our cloven spearheads and arrowheads are still around, because those were the things that didn't deteriorate with time.
Good point.
So thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege, and nice to have space with you, Sheldon. And may you have a wonderful trip back to Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever get... did you drive?
No. I flew, thankfully. Oh, my Lord. If I had to drive.
Nope. He went on the airplanes.
Nice. Well, I would humbly put it out there, if you ever want to take the trip, I know one place up in northern Minnesota where you could stop on your way to your dad's, and maybe we could talk him into driving out this way and stopping by too. Thank you, my brother.
All right, brother.
Honor and a privilege.
All
Toodles.
right. Have a great night.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to the next call. And this is from area code 423. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Who are we talking to?
Tierney.
Hi. Welcome to the show.
I'm Trevor's daughter.
Oh, cool. Well, it's nice to meet you. I'm Brent. This is Sheldon. And
nice to meet you.
How's your night going?
Hi. It's going pretty good. How's yours?
We're doing good. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's on your mind tonight?
That's good. I'm going to tell y'all a story about
Ooh, good.
Yes.
Whenever we were at my mom's friend's house.
Please, I'd love to hear it.
Yes.
So we were having a bonfire, and it was like really late at night, and we were all sitting around the fire, and we heard like really loud crashes in the woods and like heavy trees being thrown everywhere.
Oh wow! Okay.
And like we got really scared and we didn't know what to do. And my mom was like, "There's a Bigfoot." It did.
Absolutely.
And then we were just freaking out, and we went up to the house, and we just kept looking outside. And my friend was like, "You want to go back outside?" And I was like, "Girl, we are finna die." No.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I think those things are best viewed from a distance and with walls between you if possible, for sure. Man.
We were right beside the woods too.
Oof.
Oh man.
And it was like heavy trees, and there was no wind at all.
Yeah, no.
That's scary. I mean, when you think about the size of those things and the power and all of their abilities, just being quick, fast, strong, agile, God, I mean, it's got to be so intimidating to hear that around you and not knowing. I mean, because they say if you hear one, you're only hearing one, but there's probably more. And that's the scary part.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So is this common for your area, or was it really unusual?
We were up in like around Hickson, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And like it was close to Chattanooga, and it was just like, it was kind of weird, but like we've like there was this one time my mom was laying on the couch, and she was just sitting there with her eyes open, and like she looked back in our backyard, and there was something like huge that just walked past the window.
Oh God, yeah, that's creepy. Wow. So you think?
And like we were. Oh, go ahead.
No, you please go ahead.
I forgot what I was saying.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you may very well have a group in your area. Then is what it sounds like, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you ever find tracks or anything?
Not really. We haven't looked that much. But like my mom, whenever we have the car, we'll go through the battlefield and look, and like we'll see a bunch of Bigfoot structures.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Or like stuff that looks like that. I think I'm gonna send them some pictures because.
Oh please.
Yeah.
We have a lot.
I'd love to see them.
And I took some videos at my friend's house of tree knocking.
Oh, cool. Now, these woods, are they near other people, or are you kind of separate from other people? What's the layout like, I guess is what I'm wondering.
But it's like there's a neighborhood, then there's a bunch of woods.
Okay. So your neighborhood is just next to a bunch of woods then?
Yeah, we're like 8 houses away. There's been like deer in our front yard.
Oh, sure. Wow. Yeah. Well, then there you go. I mean, obviously you got the game there too, and I think the Bigfoot probably do just follow the game. Do you notice that there's certain times of the year you're more aware of them? I mean, obviously when it's cold, you're not going to be outside as much, but I believe that they are kind of migratory. I guess that they may just be in certain places, like they have a circuit. Like they're not like going to the down to South America or anything, but they may have a range of a few hundred miles that they kind of do a circuit in throughout the year. Is what I'm thinking. I have no basis for that other than I lived in an area that I believe I had Sasquatch experiences as well. Never saw it, but I heard growling right behind me, and it was horrible. And then I did find
that's scary.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was the most afraid I've ever been in my life. But for all those years, I didn't know what it was because I was 14 at the time. But years later, when I started learning about Bigfoot, I went back into that same area and looked around, and you were actually with me for some of that, Sheldon.
Really?
Yeah, when we found that structure up behind those boulders on the hillside.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
Well, no, not really. About 8 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Okay. All right. Sorry. My life is just a little longer. It doesn't seem as long to me. But I found signs of things that were there, but I don't believe they were there all the time. But I think that they were there some of the time. And so I wonder if that's the situation for you guys too.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so are you afraid of the woods now, or are you okay with it, or where are you at?
No, I'm good.
Oh, good for you.
It's kind of like you overthink, but then you're just like, whatever, just go for it.
Good for you. That's really cool.
If you die, at least you got ate by a Sasquatch.
Wow, it's great motivation.
How many people can say that? Exactly. That's awesome.
Funny enough, Crow Creek said, Sheldon, you were the bait.
He didn't know it, but I put some bacon in his hoodie before we went up there. Nah, it's cool. But go ahead.
There's another story I had.
Please let us know. We'd love to hear it.
It's kind of like a scary story, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But so there was like a bunch of stuff slamming around in my kitchen.
Oh.
It was like a couple months ago, and it was just like slamming around. And I had walked in there, and then our cabinet door flung open, and the glass came down and broke like right in front of me.
Oh.
And it cut my toe.
Oh no. Okay. Is this kind of a new thing, or is this if you always had activity in the house?
We were like right beside a national battlefield or something like that.
Okay.
A military park and like the Civil War.
Sure. But do you commonly have weird things happen?
Sometimes. Like it's not as often now.
Mm-hmm.
But
now, do you guys ever cleanse? Do you ever sage your house or anything like that?
We've tried to do that.
Okay.
And it doesn't really work.
Okay. Another thing that you can try, and this is just an idea, it's supposed to be pretty effective, is take sea salt and go into the center of every room and take a pinch of sea salt in your hands and cast it towards each corner of the room as you're turning and make declarations that, nothing evil can be here, nothing dark is welcome. Say that if you don't want them there, say you don't want any of them there, or you can make it more tailored to the negative things and just say anything dark and negative or with ill intent has to leave. You're cast out, you're banished. And do that. Repeat that for every room, every part of your house. And that's supposed to be a real effective banishing ritual. According to some people, it may or may not work for you, but I think if you're feeling afraid, it's definitely worth a shot. And then saging on top of that afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you sage, make sure to leave a window open and start on the opposite end of the house, and then just work your way room to room all the way towards that window so that the idea is that it has some place to go. And, I don't know. Maybe it's necessary, maybe it's not, but it's a belief. And so I think it doesn't hurt to observe those kinds of beliefs when you're doing it. But yeah, if you're feeling scared, definitely try that. And if you have a lot of stuff happening, let me know. We do have people attached to the show who help with this kind of thing. So if you guys are getting freaked out or whatever, just give me an email at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com, and I'll definitely get you in touch with them.
Thank you.
Oh, of course. Did you have anything more?
No.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much for calling in. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, and I appreciate your bravery to come on the show and share these things. They're awesome stories, amazing experiences. Just be careful with the whole spirit thing in the house. If it seems scary and stuff, just let me know right away, and we'll certainly do everything we can to help. Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you again for being a part of the show, and you have a wonderful night.
Thank you for talking to me.
Oh, of course. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Very cool. The whole glass breaking and drawing blood is a little concerning, but that's the kind of stuff that, because I don't want to freak anybody out, but of course, anytime you get injured by something like that, it's like, if it's just a glass breaking, it's one thing, but when, you did get cut by it, it's like, that bothers me. So hopefully that's okay, but we're definitely going to help any way we can, because that's how we roll. Right, Sheldon?
Absolutely. We're going to take them out for you.
That's right. We'll come down with our proton packs and grind it out. But yeah, it's really, really great to hear. And that's the cool part, is meeting new people. We're down to 6 minutes. Can you believe it?
What?
6 minutes.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Let's go for another half hour.
Let's go overtime. That's it. We ain't done yet.
We're going. We're at 92 watching. We can bump it up to 100 if we keep going.
I know, it goes so fast. It's crazy. I don't even know how to explain it, but it is a time anomaly here on the show, and it's awesome. I believe it's very much to do with the amount of participation, the amount of conversation and interaction, it just makes it fly. And you guys are amazing. Thank you for everybody who takes part in the shows, whether through the chat, through the call-ins, or just sitting back sending us good vibes. I mean, that really helps. Again, if you're not already subscribed, please get subscribed. We'd love to continue to make the portal grow, and only you can help us with that.
If you like and subscribe this podcast, he'll stop sending me out till he gets Sasquatches.
Yeah, I'll quit baiting my son with bacon, and well, I'll hire someone else. No, I'm just kidding. No, I would never do that to my child. You see, your little brother's in the chat too.
I did see him. Elijah's in there.
Elijah, how you doing, buddy? He's in another part of the house watching.
Upstairs, yep.
Waving. But we got just a few minutes left. I just want to remind everybody, following the Paranormal Portal tonight, of course, is Paisley Wild, The Spaces Between, coming up next. And I'm sure Don will be on there. Probably will be a part of the show there. And then, of course, Don will be here tomorrow for our Halloween extravaganza right here on the portal. So,
Busy guy.
Huh?
Busy guy.
Don gets around. He's got some miles on his tires, let me tell you. But we're going to do some giveaways tomorrow night right here on the show, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you're tuned in. We're going to be giving away a few T-shirts and maybe some other odds and ends, so stay tuned throughout the show. We're going to do Paranormal Portal quizzes, and so you got to be prepared to answer some paranormal quizzes, but don't worry. We don't do it in such a way that you lose. So we'll kind of make sure you win, but we just want to have fun doing it. And no pressure at all. But we'd love you guys to participate and do that, because we like to do these shows where we give things away, give back to you guys, because you guys have built this house, as much as we have. So thank you all for the amazing participation and such as you guys have brought to the show. And thank you for all the words of encouragement that you guys are sending via email or messages. It just floors me. It's just amazing. But I'm going to see if I have something real short to read. We only got 3 minutes, so I can't really read anything, I guess.
I got a story.
Okay, go ahead.
It's actually, well, I don't know. Should I end it on a more scary note? I don't know.
Is it terrifying?
I mean, it's the one where I pushed my head into the pillow.
Oh yeah, for sure. Share
okay,
yeah,
all right, let's
sure.
all right, let's do it. All right. So it started off. I'm gonna try and speed through it since we have 3 minutes. But I remember. I believe it was. Funny enough, I believe it was storming out actually.
Okay.
And in the dream it was storming. I remember walking up to this house in the dream, and hearing this voice overhead in the dream, saying. It was weird, but it was saying, please hurt me more. Yeah, hurt me. It was really weird. I was getting freaked out. The dream turned dark. I woke up, and I was sleeping on my right side, and this hand grabbed my head and pushed me on my left side. And I remember feeling those fingers.
Like for real though, not just your dream.
No, I was awake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was whipped right awake from that. Mm-hmm. And I felt like the fingers in my head and on my hair. That's how I knew this wasn't just some sleep paralysis type of thing. It was very real.
Wow.
And it was the only reason I got out of it was a burst of anger, because I got angry at it because I couldn't move my head at all. I couldn't turn nothing. Mm-hmm. And I could feel that pressure. But that was the thing that got me out of it. It was actually the burst of anger.
Right. Now it was kind of an ongoing thing for a little while, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah.
But that finally broke.
That was the big crescendo, I guess you could say.
That was the last incident?
Yeah, that was the last incident of it. Yeah. When I got angry, then it stopped after that, because I was yelling at it saying, I need to leave, now need to go.
Good for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the big thing is claiming your space.
Yeah.
You always got to claim your space. Can't have Elijah says, yo, Elijah.
Hi, Elijah.
It's so cute. It's like a family reunion right here on the show, ladies and gentlemen. But I think it's important to just claim your space, to make that statement and mean it, and that can be all it takes. And sometimes those things might seem scary, but there's a different symbolism or meaning behind it. But it's hard to figure out whether it is truly aggressive or it's just somebody frantically trying to get your attention for some reason. And it's tough to figure out which is which, but you gotta trust your intuition, I guess. If it felt dark, it's probably dark. So, and I'm glad you got that to stop. That's scary, scary stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to about wrap up our journey here on the Paranormal Portal for tonight. Again, special thank you to my oldest son and tonight's co-host, Mr. Sheldon.
I want to thank everybody for being so open to me having me on and whatnot, and obviously for you letting me be on. I really appreciate that.
I love these opportunities to make this a family event for sure. That's exciting to me. But all right, guys, that's all I got for you. Again, stick around for Paisley Wild coming up next. But I just got to say, I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. All right, we'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for the Halloween festival. I hope you'll join us. Take care, everybody.